Other way.
So that stuff over there is going to be.
Shalom, Israel. With the Isupk started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And we're about to start our Sabbath service. So I guess since we got no priest, so we just started out, huh? Prayers. Imagine, Wahapam Hakwadam, we're going to face the east. Start with these prayers, Lord's Prayer. Abanaw. Shabbat Shemayim. Kodash. Ayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malak Taba'ah. Batazayka. Ayah. Aisha. Ba'aratazah. Kawa. Ayah. Bashamayah. Latolanaw. Lakam. Cal. Yawam. Wasalak Nawa. Kabawath Nawa. Kasalak Nawa. Kabawath Yanawa. Wala'ah. Tabayai Nawa. Manasai 1. Abal. Hawashai Nawa. Mayan. Right. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. Wa'ala. Wa'atapara. Wa'ayawalumya.
In English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
We'll have the power. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Baba Kushai. Latolanawa. Hakak. La Rapa'ah. Kal Makala. Madawa. Hakak. Ratahar. Amatazarium. Hakak. Lahaquium. Hakak. Arakawath. Amata'ala. Lagarashan. Bahashim Yahushai. The Wat Aman.
All right, in English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
We're going to bless Israel. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Barak Lanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wahabayath. Saparium. Barak. Rapa'ah. Magun. Hagun. Bahashim Yahushai. The Wat Aman.
In English, what we just said was Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Bless us. And Israel. And the school. Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it.
Psalm 121. Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ahahariah. Mahayan. Yaba'ah. Isaiah. Ma'ain. Yahweh. Asha. Shemayam. Wa'aratazah. Ayathan. Lamawat. Regalka. Al-Yanawam. Shemarka. Hana. La'ah. Yanawam. Wala'ah. Yayashan. Shawamar.
Shabamar,
Yasharala,
Yasharala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalka,
Tazalka,
Al-Yad,
Al-Yad,
Yemyaka,
Yemyaka,
Yamawam,
Yamawam,
Hashamash,
Hashamash,
La'akaka,
La'akaka,
Wayarak,
Wayarak,
Balayala,
Balayala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Makalrai,
Kalrai,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Asnapashka,
Napashka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamarka,
Shamarka,
Kazaaska,
Kazafka,
Wabawaska,
Wabuafka,
Ma'aith,
Ma'aith,
Awalam.
Wa'ai Awalam. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes.
I will lift up my eyes
unto the hills.
Unto the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh.
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee.
He that keepeth thee.
Will not slumber.
Will not slumber.
Behold.
Behold.
He that keepeth Israel.
He that keepeth Israel.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
Nor the moon by night.
Nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
From all evil.
From all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
And thy coming in.
And thy coming in.
From this time forth.
From this time forth.
And even forevermore.
And even forevermore. Psalms 83. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Al-Damayalaka.
Al-Damayalaka.
Al-Thakarash.
Al-Thakarash.
Wa'al.
Wa'al.
Tashakwat.
Tashakwat.
Al-Kayahana.
Al-Kayahana.
Awa Yabyaka.
Awa Yabyaka.
Yahama.
Yahama.
Yawam.
Yawam.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al-Amika.
Al-Amika.
Ya'ira Yawam. Ya'ira Yawam. Ya'ira Yamwa.
Ya'ira Yamwa.
Sawada.
Sawada.
Wayata.
Wayata.
Ya'itazawa.
Ya'itazawa.
Al-Tazapon one Yaka.
Al-Tazapon Yaka.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakidam.
Wanakakidam.
Magalia.
Magalia.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Yazakar.
Yazakar.
Shem Yasharala.
Shem Yasharala.
Iwada.
Iwada.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Na'itazawa.
Aitazawa.
Laba.
Laba.
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa.
Al-Yakad.
Al-Yakad.
Baryath.
Baryath.
Yakarwath.
Yakarwath.
Yakarwathwa. Sorry. Yakarwathwa.
Yakarwathwa.
Alahaya.
Alahaya.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Wayashamai.
Wayashamai.
Alayam.
Alayam.
Mawa'aba.
Mawa'aba.
Wahagaria.
Wahagaria.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa'amawan.
Wa'amawan.
Wa'amalak.
Wa'amalak.
Palashat.
Palashat.
Amyashabia.
Amyashabia.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gamashawar.
Gamashawar.
Nalawa.
Nalawa.
Ma'ain.
Ma'ain.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Zarawai.
Zarawai.
Labanyalawai.
Banyalawat.
Salah.
Salah.
Ashalaham.
Ashalaham.
Kamadian.
Kamadian.
Kasaya Sara'ah.
Kasaya Sara'ah.
Kaya Yabyan.
Kayabyan.
Onakal.
Onakal.
Koyashwan.
Koyashwan.
Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
Ba'ayan Da'ara.
Ba'ayan Da'ara.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
Ladama.
Ladama.
Shayatamwa.
Shayatamwa.
Nadaya Mawa.
Nadaya Mawa.
Ka'ira.
Ka'ira.
Waka Kazaba.
Waka Za'aba.
Waka Zabak.
Waka Zabak.
Waka Tazar.
Waka Tazar.
Mana'ai.
Mana'ai.
Kal Nasaya Kamwa.
Kal Nasaya Kamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Nayashara.
Nayashara.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Ath.
Ath.
Na'awath.
Na'awath.
Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Alahaya.
Alahaya.
Shayatamwa.
Shayatamwa.
Kagalgula.
Kagalgula.
Lakwash.
Lakwash.
Lapanya Rakawa.
Lapanya Raka.
Lapanya Rawaka.
Lapanya Rawaka.
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash.
Saba Ira Ya'ira.
Saba Ira Ya'ira.
Wayalahaba. Salakia. Wakalahaba.
Wakalahaba.
Talahat.
Talahat.
Harayam.
Harayam.
Kan.
Kan.
Daradapma.
Daradapma.
Basa Irika.
Basa Irika.
Wabasa Wapaska.
Wabasa Wapaska.
Tabahalam.
Tabahalam.
Mala'ah.
Mala'ah.
Panyaham.
Panyaham.
Kualawam.
Kualawam.
Wayabakwashwa.
Wayabakwashwa.
Question. Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Waya Bahawa.
Waya Bahawa.
Ai. Waya Kaparwa.
Waya Kaparwa.
Waya Abadwa.
Waya Abadwa.
Waya Da'aiwa.
Waya Da'aiwa.
Kaya Atha.
Kaya Atha.
Shemka.
Shemka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Labadka.
Labadka.
Al Yawam.
Al Yawam.
Al Kaha Arataza.
Al Kaha Arataza. All right. In the English. Keep not thou silence.
Keep not thy silence.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo.
For lo.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee.
Have lifted up their head.
Have lifted up their head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted against.
And consulted against.
Thy hidden ones.
Thy hidden ones.
They have said.
They have said.
Come.
Come.
And let us cut them off.
And let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel.
May be no more in remembrance.
May be no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together.
For they have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal.
Gabal.
And Ammon.
And Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher also is joined with them.
Asher is also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kison.
At the brook of Kison.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
And like Zahab.
And like Zahab.
Yea.
Yea.
All their princes as Zabak.
All the princes as Zabak.
And as Zamunah.
And as Zamunah.
Who said. Let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The houses of Yahweh.
The houses of Yahweh.
In possession.
In possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As a stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As a fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
As the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
So persecute them.
With thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
And make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled.
And troubled.
Forever.
Forever.
Yea.
Yea.
Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou.
That thou.
Whose name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth. So, which means turn. All right, we'll be seated.
All right.
We left off at
Genesis 25 and 29.
Yep. Sword.
Okay, no sweat. All right. We're going to get it in. Today we're going to be going over Genesis chapter 25 and verse 29 is where we're going to start. Where we left off from last week, we were dealing with Jacob and Esau being birthed. We learned about Rebekah. Rebekah said that her womb was barren. And the Lord opened up her womb and blessed her to give birth. And while she was in pregnancy, she was dealing with pains in her womb. And she went and questioned the Lord. She entreated the Most High and asked, why, if this is supposed to be a blessing, why is it thus? Why is it like this? Why is it so painful? And the Lord answered her and said that you have two manner of people within your womb. There are two nations in your womb. This is Jacob and Esau, the so-called white man and black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians progenitors. All right.
Wayazad, wa'ai kwa wa'ai kwa. Let me see, wa'ai kwa nazayad. What? Waya ba'a Aishwa. Let me see. So like Ashawa. So like Man, Hashada, Waha, Wa'a, Ayat, Wayamar, Aishawa, Al, Ya'aiqua, Hala, let's see, Tanwa, Na, Man, Ha'adam, Ha'adam, Hazah, Kanya, Ayat, Anakia, Al, Kan, Parak, Shamwa, Adawam, Waya Amar, Wa'ai Kwa, Makara, Kayawam, Ath, Bakarathka, Laya, Wayamar, Aishawa, Ana, Anakia, Hawalak, Lamawath, Walama, Za, Laya, Bakara, Waya Amar, Ya'atab, Ya'aqua, Ya'aiqua, Yashabai, Hashabai, Laya, Kayawam, Wayashabai, Lawa, Wayamara, Wayamaka, Raita. I don't know, I don't understand that one right there. I like one word. Wayamaka. Underline right there. So is that connected? That must be connected. Wayamaka Rata. But then he got another one.
Yeah, I don't know. I got lost it in here.
Wayamaka.
No, that's two different words.
Okay.
Wayamakar. Ath.
Yeah,
it just might be in the wrong.
Yeah. Misprint or something. Bakarathwa, Laya Quad, Waya Quad, let me see, Nathan, Lakam, Wanazayab, let me see, I dash yum, Waya Kal, Waya Shath, Waya Quam, Waya Lak, Waya Baz, Aishwa, Ath, Habakara.
1, 26 and 1.
Yahaya, Ra'ib, Rataza, Malabad, Hara'ib, Hara Ashwan, Asherah, Haya, Bayawamya, Abaraham, Wayalak, Watazakad, Al, Malak, Palashathyam, Garara.
That's it. Okay. 29.
Okay, Jacob sighted pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me. All right.
So go up to verse 27.
27.
Start from 27, Baba Shah.
And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter.
And Esau became a cunning hunter. We went over this one last week. Just going to bring back to the forefront. Esau, the so-called white man, is a cunning hunter. These are the characteristics. We get into the characteristics of the differences between the two different nations that were in Rebecca's womb.
Right.
And these things you can see today. So there shouldn't be any questions about who is Esau and who is Jacob.
Right.
Because the people that live in Israel today, they don't fit these characteristics of Jacob. They fit the characteristics of Esau. All right, keep going.
Kind of, if I may, a lot of people say Esau is Arabs, they
right.
that off the wall crap.
That helps. They would love for Esau to be the Arabs,
right?
Especially the oppressor here in America,
right?
If Esau was the Arabs, they would love the Isupk,
man,
because they hate the Arabs as well. Right. It would benefit them so much to say that Esau was the Arabs.
That gets everything off of them.
Exactly. We would be best. They would try to be best friends with us. We wouldn't be friends with them. They would try to be best friends with us. But they do not fit the descriptions of Esau. And the Arabs tell you themselves that they're Ishmael. They tell you they're Ishmaelites.
Right.
So who's the one hiding out? It's Esau. And what's the precept for when Esau grew? He became a cunning hunter.
What is that?
You don't have to pull that. I mean, you don't have to know the actual verse if you don't. But wording? Which one talks about hunter?
I can't recall right now.
Right. They hunt our steps.
They hunt our steps.
You know, Esau is a cunning hunter. To this day, they hunt our steps that we cannot go on our streets.
Right.
Lamentations 4:18.
4:18.
All right.
Continue. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
Man of the field, always out roaming around, just the same way. They'll be in the woods, like putting deer scent on them, sitting in the bushes at 2, 3 in the morning, waiting hours to get their prey.
Right.
And in the same way they hunt you down in these streets of America.
Right.
If you're doing crime, you think you're selling dope, Esau is going to catch up to you. He's going to get on that trail. He's going to hunt you down and put you in jail or put a bullet in your head.
Right.
Let's keep going.
It's like if I may, just like Philando Castile, they just shot him up. You know what I'm saying? When he had a carry permit and all that stuff, they just shot him up and just, you know what I'm saying, didn't even give him a chance. You know, just a man of the field. They just ready to kill something. You know what I'm saying? They got all our animals extinct. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call himself the scriptures call him a man of the field, because he just can't stop killing.
Right.
You know, he just can't stop killing. It just, you know what I'm saying? It's just
does it for fun, for sport, for fun. Hanging the pictures on the wall, and like you said, the cunningness part. The word cunning. Can you look up the word cunning real quick, Baba Kashah? When you think about this one word right here, and encapsulates so much into who our oppressor is. When you think about when you go hunting, when you go fishing, there's certain things that you need to do this, right? I know you're doing two things at once, but to go hunting, you need a hunting license, correct?
Right.
You need a license to go fishing, right?
Right.
Is if you go out there and you're not certified, you're breaking the law. So they need to give each other the pass to go get their prey. Well, guess what? The police came up with a hunting license for themselves.
Right.
It's called justifiable homicide.
Right.
That is the only time on the books that you can kill someone justifiably is if you're a police officer. You're given immunity from being able to murder people.
Right.
So that's their version of a hunting license.
Right.
And you are the prey. All right.
So like if I may, and all they got to say is, I fear for my life, you know, and it's okay for them to kill you. You know what I'm saying? They get a pass on, you know, going to jail and all that stuff. I fear for my life. Even though if you're running from them,
right.
You know, you running from him.
God damn.
He feared his life, you running from him.
Right.
You know, and shoot you in the back and kill you.
Cunning hunter.
I fear for my life, you know what I'm saying? So that's just how, just deceiving. Okay, cunning.
Mm-hmm.
Having or showing skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or evasion.
By deceit. So why do we call Esau the devil the Bible speaks of? Because it tells you right here in the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter and the 27th verse, that Esau was a cunning hunter from birth. He was deceptive, a deceiver, a liar, treachery, etc. Keep going. Is there anything else?
Yeah, so let me see. I'm still see. They stated
that's pretty much that's the description of
right there.
Exactly. He uses deceit and trickery and lies to kill.
Right.
That's what he's putting that false smell on him to go out and kill. This is why they're putting Black Lives Matter shirts on and acting like they care about Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indian lives, and then gentrify you out the same neighborhood. Because they're hunting you down, but they're using deceit to do it.
Okay, so like if I may, having or showing skills in achieving one's end, you know what I'm saying? That's all they're trying to do is, you know, end the children of Israel life, you know what I'm saying? They go out seeking to end by deceit, you know,
right.
By deceit, you know, or evasion.
And when you're hunting or when you're catching the animal, what do they put in the bear trap? They put food in it, right?
Right.
When you catch a rat, you put little cheese on there.
Right.
So that's how they trap us too. They say, you're going to be equal. You can have a great life here in America. And they put this money out here as this trap. and we fall right into it, and we just end up slaves and dead.
Right.
But let's keep going. Let's find out about our forefather Jacob.
And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in the tents.
Dwelling in the tents. They say Israel likes to wax fat. Wax fat is chilling, posted up, at the crib, falling back. That's the things that our people like to do. We don't want to be out here constantly scheming, conniving, and trying to become, I don't know. They're like Pinky in the Brain, that TV show, little cartoon. He said, what are we going to do today? We're going to take over the world. That's the way Esau wakes up in the morning and thinks.
Right.
And the reason why Jacob doesn't think like that is because we have an innate feeling that the world already is ours. Why do we have to get up and think about conquering the world? Because we know the world is supposed to be ours.
Yep.
The piece that we're missing is following the Lord's commandments.
Right.
And we won't have to plot and scheme and type and just where the charts, where the spreadsheet. Let's see, how can we, they're just going through the books all day thinking of ways to plot and plan to scheme to get to the top.
Right.
When we can chill in the tents and take over. This is our characteristics.
Right.
All right.
Like you said, it's like
one more sluggy. And then just a plain man as well. That's another characteristics of us. We're simple people. We like simple things. You know what I always say? The playbook to a man or the instruction manual to a man is one page. He wants some good food. He want to be with his women, and he wants some peace and quiet. You know, it's not too much to make a man happy. And they say the book to please a woman is like an encyclopedia, volumes on volumes on volumes. That's the same way Esau is. He's effeminate.
Right.
He doesn't need simple things to be happy. Can't just be happy with having his family, having his children, and eating good. He wants everything. He wants to sleep with your woman and your brother. He wants your sister and your daughter and your son and your grandma. Boy. Esau wants it all. He wants, you get $100 million. Brothers, all right, man, wow. Esau wants $150 billion. He wants $200 billion. He wants to be a trillionaire. He wants to be that much better than everyone else. A brother wouldn't even feel right if everyone around him doesn't have that much.
Right.
But you were going to say something, so like
that. Yeah, you was piggyback on what you were saying earlier. What was it saying? They hunt our steps. You know what I'm saying? So they plan to. You know what I'm saying? I got off.
Salaki too. I know we were talking about the part where the plain man Esau dwelling in tents. Somewhere in there, I remember you said Salaki. Okay. No sweat. We keep going.
All right. Verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison.
Right. And that was still his son. Isaac loved Esau. That was his firstborn son.
Right.
It's his natural inclination. This is my boy. It's the first one came out. He's strong. He's hunting. He's bringing in his meat, which was very important at this time to bring in meat, which was, you can't go to the supermarket, can't go to Safeway or Kroger's and get you meat. You have to actually go out and get it. So that was something that was appreciated.
Right.
Keep going.
But Rebecca loved Jacob.
She knew she had this prophecy that was given to her by the Lord.
Right.
That the elder shall serve the younger.
Right.
Keep going.
And verse 29, and Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
Right. He's hungry. He's out there in the field all day, all night.
Right.
Hunting.
Right.
He's hungry. He's famished. Keep going.
Verse 30, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, with that same red pottage, for I am faint.
Right. Esau is ready to eat this raw meat. It's not even cooked all the way. This is how we know this is the oppressor. To this day, they love rare meat.
Right.
Put the steak on there. one side, flip it over another side, and bring it to me bloody.
Bloody.
That is not Isupk culture or so-called Mexican culture.
Right.
That's not black culture. That's not black, Hispanic, and Native Indian culture. To eat raw food, eat bloody meat.
Right.
Keep going.
Therefore was his name called Edom.
Adawam. That's why he was called Adawam. Is this red? Keep going.
In the Hebrew.
Right.
And Jacob said, sell me thy birthright. Sell me this day thy birthright. Verse 32. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
Right. So Jacob was a supplanter. And this is some of the things that we need to know how to use as well today. Learn how to manipulate your enemies. You don't have to do things a certain way all the time. You think there's a time and a place for everything. There may be a time and a place to go out and tell these oppressors they're the devil the Bible speaks of. And there's a time where you may have to do business and you can supplant them and take things and bring them back to your nation and advance your people. All right? So he's saying, this is also the spirit of Esau. Right. What does it profit me, my birthright?
Right.
Esau is always trying to have some gain. He really wasn't going to die. If he had a little bit of patience and waited, he could have waited till the food was cooked and waited to eat and had his own meal. But he didn't really appreciate his birthright. He didn't. And you know, that's the same way today. The little devils, their parents give them $1 million inheritance.
Right.
They flicking their, F you, mom.
Right.
Dad, I hate your guts. You're never here. I just gave you $1 million. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, and you depressed and paint your nails black and want to slit your wrists. You on antidepressants? You know how many little black and Hispanic kids in the ghettos and the barrios would love to live the life that you're living?
Right.
But you don't appreciate your birthright, so it's going to be taken from you. Keep going.
Verse 33. And Jacob said, Swear to me this day, and he sware unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
This is that prophecy. This is part one of that prophecy that Rebekah received, that the elder will serve the younger. He gave his birthright to Jacob. Keep going.
Verse 34. And then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
Right. He didn't care. He didn't appreciate it. He despised it. He hated it. And then on top of that, if you really know Esau, this is what he did with our Native Indian brothers, with the treaties. Right. In his mind, he really was thinking, I just said that. I didn't mean that.
Right.
I'm going to recollect this damn birthright. It's still mine. Just because I said it doesn't mean I meant it. I'll say anything. I was hungry. That's how they are. They'll do anything to advance themselves, whether it's lying to their own, to anybody. All right? Keep going.
It's like, if I may.
No sweat.
He didn't care about his birthright, as you were saying, you know what I'm saying? And then, just like the ending of this 34, Esau despised his birthright. So it's like, you know, he didn't care about his birthright, but just like you were saying about the Indians, he wrote all those treaties, you know what I'm saying? And then came back and hunted their steps.
Right.
You know?
Didn't honor one of them. Over 700 treaties.
Yeah. Didn't honor one of them. He came back, you know what I'm saying, and you know, and started massacring, raping and robbing, you know, our brother, you know what I'm saying? And pretty much took their land. But I'm continuing with
verse 1.
Verse 1. Right. And there was a famine in the land besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went up unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar.
Right, okay. That's where we stopped off. So this is another reoccurring theme. we knew about Abraham. He went amongst Abimelech. First, he went amongst the Egyptians, and he told them, "This is not my wife. This is my sister." Then Abraham went amongst Abimelech and did the same thing. Now we're seeing this happen with Isaac. Right. We'll let it go into it. So you want to do one more in Hebrew, and then I'll do it.
Yahaya Ra'ib Ba'arataza Malabad.
Like I think now we starting right here. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wayara Al Yahwa Yahweh Waya Amar Al Tarad Ma Tazara Yamma Shakan Ba'arataza Asherah Amar Al Yakah Gawar Ba'arataza Hazaath Wa'aha Ya Anka Baraka Kaya Laka Wala Zaraika. Let's see. Athan Ath Cal Ha'arataza. Let me say Ha'aratazath. Akal. Let me say Hakal. Wa'aqwa Mathya. Ath. Let me see Hasha Ba'ai. Asherah Nasha Ba Ithya La Baraham Abayaka Wahaba Yathya Al Ath Zaraika. Let me see. Zaraika Kaka Wakadya. Kaka Wakad Kab. Yeah. Hasha Mayam Wana Ath. So Wanata Ath. Yeah. Afya Laza Raika Ath Cal Ha'arataza Ath. See Ha'arataza Ath Akal. You say you see Wahata Barakwa Baza Raika Cal Gawa Yaya Rataza I Quab Asherah Shamai Abraham Bakwaya Waya Shamar Masha Mai Rathya Mai Tazawathya Ka Kwa Wathya Wata wa Rathya Waya Shab Wataza Kad Wataza Quad was it Kad Why was it Yataza Quack
Yatazak.
That's Isaac. Ka. That's the Ka.
Yatazak.
I don't know that. Any on that. Kad.
Yatazak.
Qua. What is that? Qua. I don't know.
Yatazak. That's Isaac.
Oh, that's Isaac.
Yeah.
Baga. Ra. Wayasha Awa Anakia Hama Kwa Wam La Shathwa Waya Amar Akathya Hawa Kaya Ya Roth La Amar Ashathya Pan Ya Amar Ya Ara Ganya Anakia Amaquawam Al Rabaqua Kaya Tawa Bath Mara Aya Awa Waya Haya Kaya Yarakwa Awa Lawa Sham Waya Yambuma Waya Shaqua Abaya Malak Palashathyam Ba'id Hakalawam Waya Rath Waya Ra'a Wa'ana Yatazak Matazak Ath Rabaqua Ashathwa Waya Quara Abaya Abba Yalamak Laya Tazakwa Waya Amar.
You and nine.
Let's see. I finished. That must have been the end of it.
Yeah, Ashathwa was the end of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll go back to
verse 2.
2. Okay, Genesis 26, verse 2. And Yahweh appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Mm-hmm. Verse 3. Sojourn in the land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee, for unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries. I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father, and I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and I will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all thy nations of the earth be blessed.
Right. So here we go again. There was a famine in the land, and these brothers went down into Egypt once again to avoid to survive during this famine into Egypt. So there was always going back and forth between what today we know as the Israelites, according to the Bible, and into this land of Ham, the Africans. And it says that the Lord will bless who blesses us and curse who curses us. That is the promise. As long as we're righteous, anyone that tries to come up against us will have to fail. And these nations know this. This is why when you go to Louisiana, their culture is to eat shrimp, crab,
right,
pork. Everything that's abominable is promoted in our culture, because these heathens know if we become who we're supposed to be, they don't have a chance.
Right.
All right, keep going.
Verse 5, because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Verse 6, and Isaac dwelt in Gerar. Verse 7, and the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife, lest he said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah.
Right.
Because
so he feared for his life the same way his father did when he was dealing with Sarah. He feared for his life and told him that was his sister. Keep going.
Because she was fair to look upon. Verse 8, and it came to pass when he had been there a long time that Abimelech, king of Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah, his wife.
Right. So what does that mean? He was sporting with his wife, Rebekah. We can look it up, but in this version here, it says fondling. He was basically getting intimate with his woman. And that's where he's like, hold on, I thought that was your sister. What's really going on here? So that kind of tipped him off.
Yeah.
And this is another scripture too, though, about compromising, which is something that happened in slavery, where our men were fearful of their lives and allowed their women to get ravished by these slave masters. But that's something that the men should have never allowed to happen.
Right.
You're going to have to kill us all before you put your hands on our women.
Right.
And that's something, either they would have tried to kill us all, they would say, well, in order for us to keep getting money, we're going to have to leave their women alone. We can still have them as slaves,
right,
but we can't rape their women anymore. But we were so destroyed as a people. Our spirit became cur, as they say. You got some dogs, wild wolves, they are not domesticated. But when you beat a dog down and you keep reproducing, the ones that are docile and not as aggressive and you get a dog that is cur, and that's what they try to produce in us. All right, keep going.
Verse 9. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety.
Wait, so did we stop at 8 in the Hebrew? Or did you go through 8? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think we stopped right there. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and read in the Hebrew, Genesis 26 and verse 9. Wayakara Abayamalak Layatazak Wayamor Ak Hana Ashafka Hawa'a Wa'ayak Amarath Akafia Hawa'a Wayamor Alyawa Yatazak Kaya Amafia Pun Amawath Al-Yaha Wayamor Abayamalak Maha Za'ath Aishath Lanawa Kama'ai Shakab Akkad Ha'aim Ashataka Ashafka Wahaba'ath Ayanawa Asham Wayatazawa Abiyamalak Kal Ha'aim La'amor Hanagai Ba'ayash Hazah Wayabashafwa Mawath Yawa Ma. Okay. Waya Sarai Yatazak Ba'arataza Ha'awa Waya Mataza Bashana Ha'awa'a Ma'a Sha'irium Waya Barak Kawa Yahweh. Verse 13. Wayagadol Hayash Wayalak Hello Wak Wagadol Aid Kaya Gadol Mara Slaki Ma'ad. Verse 14. Wayahaya Lawa Makana Taza'an Wamakana Bakor Wa'aib Bada Rabah Wayakwanawa Afwa Palashathium. 9, 10, 12, 14, 15. Okay. Verse 15. We'll call Habarath Asherah Kaparwa Ibadia Abayawa Bayamaya Abraham Hana Ha'a Bayawa Saf Mawam Palashathium Waya Allah Wam Apar. All right. Verse 9.
Okay, Genesis 26 and 9. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety she's thy wife, and how saidest thou, she is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, lest I die for her, lest I die for her. Verse 10, and Abimelech said, What is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lion with thy wife.
Is it lion or?
Lion? Have lion.
Lion? Oh, lion, yeah, that's different.
Lion with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us.
Right here it says. Same thing.
Verse 11, and Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that toucheth this man's wife or this man's or his wife shall surely be put to death.
So even the heathens knew this, that you don't deal with another man's woman.
Right.
Something that has become so normal, something that has become so promoted in our culture that even these goddamn heathens knew. If you deal with another man's wife, you should be put to death.
Right.
When a woman goes out and deals with another man while she's married, she and him should both be put to death according to the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
Now, we're not saying go out and do that to this day, but the Lord will have vengeance upon any evil as such. But this is definitely something we should take very serious in our culture, in our community, and shouldn't take lightly. And Isaac said he was scared to die for his wife, when that should have been the first thing he should have been ready to do.
Right.
And the Lord would have delivered him and destroyed those heathens for trying to take his woman.
Right.
Keep reading.
It's like General Muhammad says, sometimes you just got to die. You know what I'm saying? You got to die for what's right. You know what I'm saying?
Goddamn right.
Yahweh shall die for, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's what was supposed to happen. So sometimes that's just what it has to be. You know what I'm saying? That's what it comes to. If it comes to that, sometimes you just have to die. You know what I'm saying? Die with honor.
And what do you love so goddamn much? Going to the plantation every day, clocking in 9 to 5, not having money enough to pay your bills. You can't wait to get back to Taco Bell to clock in.
Right.
You know what I mean? You want to hold on to your life so dearly, and you're a goddamn slave, man. It's better to die for something right than to live for something wrong.
Live on your knees.
Right. Well, how does it go? I'd rather die like a man than to live like a coward.
Right.
They say a coward dies 1,000 deaths, but a soldier dies but one. A real man dies but one. A coward running around all the time, scared. Am I going to die? What can I do to stay alive? Avoiding. But a real man, if death comes to your doorstep, then I'm opening the door if it's for something righteous. All right?
Verse 12, and Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year 100-fold, and Yahweh blessed him.
And Yahweh blessed him that same year. He got 100-fold, telling the truth and letting these people know that this was his woman, not lying.
Right.
This is what allowed him to be blessed 100-fold. Keep going. What did he get?
And verse 13, and the man waxed great.
He waxed great.
And went forward and grew until he became very great. Verse 14, for he had possession of flock and possession of herds, a great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him. Verse 15, for all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. Verse 16, and Abimelech said unto Isaac, go from us, for thou art much mightier than we.
So he was doing so well. He said, you got to get up out of here. You're doing so good. I'm sure the women starting to look at Isaac too. And it's the same way. You move into these people's neighborhood and you start balling. If brothers remember the movie Belly,
right?
When he moved out of town, and cats from New York, they came to the Midwest and they started setting up shop. And they started balling, getting money in their own neighborhood, in their own hood that they grew up in. The dude on the corner, he's sitting there with the banana, eating with his hair, with his permed out, talking about, man, I don't like this. I don't like this. I got to drop a dime on these niggas.
Right.
They get to hating. So that's how they felt about Isaac. They wanted to fill up the wells that his father had dug up. They wanted to stop anything that was going to keep him going. He got so big and so great. They said, you should go to another land because we can't deal with you here. All right. Was that it? Okay. I'll do 17. What's our time? Shit, right now. Yeah, look 45. We might do one more, maybe two. Close out the class. All right. Genesis chapter 26 and verse 17 in the Hebrew. Wayelach, Masham, Yatazak, Wayekwan, Banakal, Gara'ah, Wayeshab, Sham, verse 18. Wayeshab, Yatazak, Wayekapar, Ath, Barath, Hamaryam, Asherah, Kaparwa, Bayamaya, Abraham, Abayawa, Wayesath, Mawam, Palash, Thayam, Akarya, Mawath, Abraham, Waya, Quara, Lahan, Shemawath, Kashamath, Asherah, Korah, Lahan, Abayawa. Verse 19. Okay. Waya Kaparwa, Abadya, Yatazak, Manakal, Waya Matazah, Wa Sham, Ba'ar, Mayam, Kayayam. Verse 20. Waya Yabwa, Ra'aya, Gara'ah, Ain, Ra'aya, Yatazak, La'amar, Lanawa, Hamayam, Waya Quara, Sham, Haba'ar, Ashak, Kaya, Hata Aishakwam, Wa, Imawa. Verse 21. Waya Kaparwa, Ba'ar, Akarath, Waya Rayabwa, Gum, Aliyah, Waya Korah, Shema, Shatana. Verse 22. Waya Tazah, Kwa, Masham, Waya Kapor, Ba'ara, Akarath, Wayala, Rabawa, Aliyah, Waya Korah, Shema, Rakabawa, Wayamor, Kaya, Aitha, Harakayam, Yahweh, Lanawa, Wapar, Yanawa, Ba'arataza. All right.
Okay, verse 17, Genesis 26:17. And Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. Verse 18. And Isaac digged again the wells of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. Verse 19. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of spring water. Verse 20. And the herdsmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac herdsmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Isupk, because they strove from him. Verse 21. And he digged another well and strove for that also, and he called the name of it Sitnah. Verse 22. And he removed from thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not, and he called the name of it Rehoboth. Mm-hmm. And he said, for now Yahweh hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land.
Right. Digging a well is something that was very major back in these days. To have a water source, right, clean water, right, wasn't easy to come on. If you weren't by a lake or running water, a stream, it was hard to get water. So the ability to dig a well is deep in the earth was something major. And so them digging wells was like having wealth as well. It's like money. Keep going.
Right. Verse 23. And he went up from thence to Beersheba.
That's it right there. Yep. All right. Let's see. Do 24. And this will be the last one for the day. Come. All right. Where we at? Let's see right here. Run through this real quick. Genesis chapter 26 and verse 24. 30. Okay. Wayira'ah, Ayawah, Yahweh, Baal Yalah, Hawa, Waya Amor, Anakia, Alhaya, Abraham, Abaryaka, Al, Tayarah, Kaya, Athaka, Afka, Hanakia, Wabaraka, Yaka, Waharabah, Yathya, Zaraika, Ba'ai, Bawara, Abraham, Ibadya, verse 25. Wayabun, Sham, Mazabak, Wayakorah, Basham, Yahweh, Wayat, Sham, Ahali, Salaki, Ahalawa, Waya Barawa, Sham, Ibadya, Yatazak, Ba'ar, verse 26. Wa Abba Yamalak, Halak, Alyawa, Magara, Wa Akazath, Maraiha, Wapayako, Shara, Tazabawa, verse 27, Waya Amor, Alham, Yatazak, Madawai, Ba Atham, Alya, Wa Atham, Shana'atham, Afya, Wayeta, Laka, Wanya, Ma the Kam, verse 28. Waya Marwa, Wa'awa, Yanawa, Kaya, Haya, Yahweh, Imak, Wana Amor, the Ya, Na'a, Allah Banya Watha Yanawa Bayan Yanawa Wayaba Yanaka Wana Karath the Baryath Imak. Verse 29. The Aisha Manawa Ra'ai Ashar La'a Nagai Nawa Waka Waka Ashar Aisha Yanawa Imaka Rakwa Rak Tawa Wanashalak Ka Bashalawam Ashta. That's like Atha Bawa Wak Yahweh in verse 30. Wayaish Laham Mashata Wayakawa Wayashatawa. That's it.
Okay, Genesis 26 and 24. Okay. And Yahweh appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the power of Abraham thy father, fear not, for I am with thee. I will bless thee and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake.
So who is he talking to today? If we're the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, he says, I am the Lord your power, fear not, for I am with you, and I will bless you. If we stay with the Lord will be with us. Right. We should have no fear.
Right.
We say this in the UPK. Who do we fear? The Father we fear. Nothing else. Shouldn't be no oppressor. Shouldn't be a robot. You can come out with RoboCop. You can come out with all the technology you want to get. We should have zero fear. No cowards, no excuses. And that's the spirit in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana.
Yeah, right.
We're ready for anything that comes our way because we fear the Lord. Everyone else is walking around backwards in the world.
Right.
You fearing of the PG&E man. You fearful of someone cutting your water off or getting fired from your job or the Negroes up the street or the SAs across town. You fearful of everything else. You fearful of your woman leaving you. You fearful of your children going to jail or doing anything under the sun. You living in constant fear of your oppressor, the police pulling you over. Everything else in the world you're fearing except the Lord. And that's why your life is out of order. That's why you're oppressed. That's why you're at the bottom of everything.
Right.
What's going to put you at the top, what's going to make you blessed, is you being like your forefather Abraham. You being like Isaac. You being like Yaquab or Jacob. You being like our king, Yahushua, and fear the Lord. Fear Yahweh. Follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, and there won't be a damn thing you have to fear on this planet Earth. All right? Keep going.
Verse 25, and he built an altar there and came upon the name of Yahweh and pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants digged a well.
Right.
Verse 26, and Amalek went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzath, one of his friends, and Philcol, the chief captain of his army. Mm-hmm. Verse 27, and Isaac said unto them, wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you. Verse 28, and they said, we saw certainly that Yahweh was with thee, and we said, let there be that there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee. And let us make a covenant with thee.
Right. So they wanted to make sure, they seen how strong he's getting, how big he's building up. They're saying the Lord is with him.
Right.
And so they want to have some type of peace with him.
Right.
So Lucky, let's see. Was it Proverbs chapter 16? Before that precept, 16 and 7.
16 and 7.
Come. And so this, yeah, he said, first y'all kick me out of here. There's also the spirit of America as well. First, they tell us they don't want us in their shops. They don't want us to eat with them. They want to have Jim Crow segregation. So then what do? We go build up our neighborhoods. We go get our own Negro League for baseball. And then they come back and say, well, you want to come play in the Major League Baseball? You want to be the first black man? Because they seen how successful the Negro League was going up. And they didn't want to have to compete or go to war with their sorry Major League Baseball team with a bunch of evil Edomites versus these strong, powerful black brothers in their own Negro League. So this is the same thing that Abimelech is saying to them. You got that?
Proverbs chapter 16, verse 7. When a man ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies be at peace with him.
Right. So what does it say again if you read verse 28?
28. And they say, we saw certainly that Yahweh was with thee. And we said, let there be now an oath betwixt us.
Right.
Even betwixt us and thee. And let us make a covenant with him.
Right.
With thee.
Exactly. So they see the Lord is with you. If you please the Lord, even your enemies will be at peace with you.
Your enemies will be at peace with you. Right.
Because they don't want it with the Lord. They don't want to mess with a righteous nation. All right?
They already know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Damn right. Is there anything else?
That was it on... Did we finish?
We went to 30.
30, okay. Verse 30. Let's see. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink.
Right. So...
It was cool.
So, all right.
Cool. Let's kick it now.
Kick it. All right. You're going to go back to your land. I'm going to stay here. And that's okay. That's a good point to end it on there for today. All right.
All right, Imagine.
La Yashala.
All right. Wapam Hakwadam will face the east. We'll start with the Lord's prayers again. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Quadash. Hayah. Shankar. Yahweh. Malakwithka. Taba'ah. Ratazayka. Hayah. Aisha. Aratazah. Kawa. Hayah. Shemayim. Nathalanawa. Lakam. Cal. Yawam. Wasalak now. Kabawath now. Kasalak now. Kabawath you now. Wala'a.
Daba'a.
Dabayai Nawa.
Dabayai Nawa.
Manasaya 1.
Manasaya 1.
Abal.
Abal.
Awashai Nawa.
Awashai Nawa.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Rai.
Rai.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Laka.
Laka.
Amalakwa.
Malakwa.
Wahala.
Wahala.
Wahatapira.
Tapara.
I will you.
I will you.
Amen.
Amen. Right. In the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day, our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
We're going to hack the power. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
Baba Koshai.
Baba Koshai.
La Thunder Nawa. Hakat.
Hakat.
La Rapa'ah. Kal Makala. Wakal Madawa. Hakat. Atahar. Amatazaria. Hakat. La Hakwil. Mahathim. Hakat. Arakawas. Amata'ala. La Garishan. Bashem Yahushai.
What Aman. Right. The power in the English. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
Oh, we're going to bless Israel. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
Barak
Lanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wahabayah. Sapariah. Barak. Rapa'ah. Magun. Hagun. Bahashem Yahushai. The water Aman.
We're going to bless Israel. In English, what we just said was, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Bless us. And Israel. And the school. Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect. The Williams family. The Hopkins family. The Fuller family. The LeBeau family.
The Warren family. The Price family. The Taylor family. That's it.
In the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it.
So 121. Aisha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ahahoria.
Mahayan.
Yaba'ah.
Aizoriya. Ma'ayin.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Shemayan. Aratazah. Ayathan.
Namawat.
Ragalka. Alyanawam. Shamarka. Hana. La'ah. Yanawam. Wala'ah. Yayashan. Shawamar. Yasharala. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Tazalka. Al-Yad. Yamyaka. Yamawam. Hashamash. La'ah. Yakaka. Wayarak. Valayala. Yahweh. Shamarka. Makalrai. Yashamar. Athnapashka. Yahweh. Yashamar. Taza'afka. Wabu'afka. Ma'aith. Wa'ai. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes. Unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee. Will not slumber. Behold. He that keepeth Israel. Shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee. From all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. And even forevermore. All right, Psalm 83. Alahayim. Al-Damayalaka. Al-Thakarash.
Wa'al.
Tashakwat.
Al.
Kahi. Kayahana.
Al Kayahana.
Waba. Let me see. Wa'abayat. Wa'ayab Yaka.
Awab Yaka.
Yahama.
Yahama.
Yawam. Ra'ash.
Al-Amika.
Ya'ara Yamwa.
Sawada. Wayata. Ya'itazawa.
Al-Tazapun one Yaka.
Amarwa.
Lakawa. Wanakakidam. Magalia. Wala'a. Yazakar. Shamyasharala. Iwada. Kaya. Na'itazawa. Laba. Yakadwa. Al-Yaka. Baryath. Yakarthwa. Alahaya. Adawam. Wayashamai. Alayam. Mawa'aba. Mahagariam. Gabal. Wa'aimawan.
Wa'amalak.
Palashat. Yeshabia. Tazawar. Gamashawar. Nalawa. Ma'ain. Hayawa. Zarawai. Labanya Lawat. Salah. Ashalaham. Kamadyan. Kasaya Sara'a. Kayabyan. Monakal. Koyashwan. Nashamadwa. Ba'ayandara. Hayawa. Daman. La'adama. Shayatamwa. Nadayab Mawa. Ka'ira. Waka Za'aba. Wakazabak. Wakatazar. Mana'ai. Kal Nasaya Kamwa. Ashar. Amarwa. Nayarasha. Nanawa. Na'awath. Alahaya. Shayatamwa. Kagabula. Kakwash. Laponya Raka. Ka'ash. Taba'ira Ya'ira. Wakalahaba. Talahat. Haryam. Kan. Daradatma. Basa'irika.
Wabasawa.
Tabahalam. Mala'a. Panyaham. Kwalawam. Wayabakwashwa. Shimka. Like it. Yahweh. Wayabashwa. Wayahabawa. Ayai. Wayakaparwa. Wayabadwa. Wayadaiwa. Kaya'ata. Shimka. Yahweh. Labadka. Al-Yawam. Al-Kaharataza.
All right. In English. Keep not thy silence. O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee, have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. Against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off. From being a nation. That the name of Israel may be no more. In remembrance. For they are consulted together. With one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And the Hagarenes. Gabal. And Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kison. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. And like Zeeb. Yea. All their princes as Zabah. And now Zalmunna. Who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh. In possession. O my power. Make them like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them. And make them afraid. So persecute them. With thy tempest. And make them afraid. With thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. O Yahweh. Let them be confounded. And troubled. Forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know. That thou. Whose name alone. Is Yahweh. Art the most high. Over all the earth.
Sorry, was his turn.
One more time.
We will give one curse salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakathum.
We will give one curse salute to the sisters out there. Men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Alatam Bashem Yahushua. Yazmatah, class dismissed.